All right, hey, welcome this week to the Road to Indy, brought to you by Southern Seminary and Boys College. Got a treat for you today. We've got Heiden Ratner, who is the pastor at Walk Church in Las Vegas. Heiden also serves as the chairman of the Committee on Order of Business. Heiden, thanks for joining us.
Honored to be here. Thank you so much, Jonathan, for like you said, what a treat. We're getting ready to go to Indy, and we got a lot of exciting stuff coming up. And I'm excited to jump on the call with you today.
Yeah, man, I thank you for being here. And this is your third year on the Committee on Order of Business. You've helped the last couple of years. You're term limiting out this year.
Yeah.
So we won't get to see your bright and shining face again next year on the COB. But tell me what that's been like for you. Like, I mean, you bring a lot of energy to the room. Folks can't tell that by the video here, but like it's fun to have somebody who brings a lot of energy
Come on.
to what is often, kind of a boring business.
Got it.
So what's that been like for you?
Yeah, it's actually been a great time for me. I was honored to be on my first year with Pastor Ed Litton and the awesome team developed there with Christy and the rest of the fellow COB members. But I've just been learning a lot. I've always been interested on what actually is going on behind the scenes of the SBC. How do we actually get there to the annual meeting, and how does the just kind of the flow of the couple of days develop and all that goes into it? There's so many speakers, people praying, business, time, mics going on and off. And so I've just kind of in the background thought, what's going on here? And I guess maybe the Lord heard my thought and put me in the room to actually see it behind the scenes. And it's really an amazing team, work, and environment. And yeah, I've just tried to add value where I can. Oftentimes, I lean on that proverb that says, the person who doesn't say anything is deemed intelligent. And so I'm just kind of sitting back thinking, okay, let me get a lot of notes here and try to add value where the space appears. And, I think also for me, what's cool is the first year I was able to kind of be on the host security team. In other words, just make sure people got to the spaces they were and they had the mics they needed. And last year as well, just kind of being a conversationalist and trying to help people make that experience the most seamless possible. And so this year, this is a new seat for me, a new role, but I'm excited to lean in. I want to learn, I want to get better, and I want to make it the best experience for everybody involved.
Yeah, I think you bring up a good point, though. There's a lot of people behind the scenes making things happen that I think often we don't realize, or those out in the crowd don't realize. I mean, you got everything from just making sure that people are up to the stage when they're supposed to be there.
Sure.
That's a big piece because you don't want to be having to try to hunt down an entity head when they're supposed to be giving a report. I mean, they're good about being there, but you just never know where people may wander off to backstage or what it may
Right.
be, or just knowing that this is what's coming up next. I need these nominators and these people. So like running all that crowd control behind the scenes. And then also you got the people that are doing the timers to
Yeah.
make sure that the speeches are the right amount and that Craig Colberth goes up and taps them on the shoulder at the
Shoulder
right time.
tap.
All those things. There's a lot of things that happen that go on behind the scenes that I don't think a lot of people realize. And you've got, like you said, get that behind the curtain look, so to speak.
Sure.
So let's talk about this year. I mean, you mentioned the schedule. We got a lot to do.
Correct.
So much so that we've added a Tuesday night session. So maybe give us maybe some of the reasoning why. I mean, Bart kind of talked about that on his episode on here.
Awesome.
But talk to us like the challenges that you guys are facing with Southern Baptist wanting to do more business, but at the same time trying to find the time for that.
Sure. Well, we see this as our meeting, right? This is for Southern Baptist pastors, team members, messengers to come together and really try to make some decisions together. So, for us, we're trying to listen well. We're trying to respond to the things that are coming at us over the past couple years. And what we've realized is people need more time. People have things that are heavy on their heart. There's lots of reports to be shared. There's lots of motions to be made. And so in order to do that, we tried to maximize all the spaces and pockets possible to do that. And that's why we felt like we needed that extra Tuesday night session to just try to create a little bit more space for people to get the info they needed and to make the motions and business items that they wanted to get across. And I would just want to just make a quick plug to get in the room. Come on, there
Yeah.
is space in the place and grace. Come on, I needed to find one more word to the preacher in me. There's grace in the space, in the place, in Indy to get there. And so I encourage everybody to do their eateries, their stop and chats, their hang moments, but not during the business time. try to get in there and be prayerful, and be excited about what God's doing. I just think that, there's so much more for us to celebrate, honor, get pumped up about. I mean, there's baptisms happening, missionaries being sent, churches being planted. The list goes on. And so we want to highlight and celebrate all of that on display. I think it's better when we get to do it together. And I want to encourage you to get in the room. That's why I'm gonna be in the room. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you kind of have to be,
I
but you're
kind of
right
have
though. I
to be.
mean,
That's right.
that's an important thing, just because decisions are made by those who show up
That's
and
right.
those that are in the room. So if you're not there, you can't be a part of the process. And
Sure.
as a church planner, like what would you tell your fellow maybe people that are maybe it's their first time, maybe they've come, they don't really understand it, they don't understand how this is working, because we do business so differently in my own church than we do at the annual meeting.
Sure.
Those kind of questions are. What would you say as a word of encouragement to maybe people that maybe it's their first time, or they're new to the Southern Baptist Convention because they just planted a church, or
Right.
they're just out of seminary, something like that. What would you say to encourage them?
Sure. Well, I'll even go ahead and take a page out of my friend and mentor in my life, Pastor Vance Pittman, his book, where I came up to him. I didn't have much context on the SBC, and I knew that he was going to the annual meeting. So I just pulled him aside before he left a few days, and I said, "Hey, what is this thing that you're going to, and should I go?" And he said this word. He just said, "Presence communicates power. Presence communicates buy-in. Presence communicates that you want to be a part of something, you believe in it." And I just remember going and buying my own plane ticket, and I was looking for different hotel rooms to stay with other church planters and people, because I just wanted to be a part of what God was doing, and I didn't want to miss out on it. And so I would just say, you'll never get the divine appointment if you don't go. You never know who's in the elevator with you. You never know who you're sitting by in the back of the room or in the front of the room. You never know who's going to give you that, "Hey, why don't you come to dinner with us?" As a church planner, come on, I'm keep it 100. I've raised a lot of money at the annual meetings over the years just through divine appointments. You never know who wants to connect with a fellow planter or missionary, or who needs a new kingdom advancement moment in their church. And you might be the one to provide that. And it might work both ways for you. And so I just want to say, I encourage you to be there. I think the exhibitor hall is always really dope. Just so many cool things to check in on and get some free candy along the way, right? And so, yeah, I think that if you really want to maximize the couple of days and not be a hater and not be a complainer, but bring something of value and excitement, you'll get that if you go. And I want to
Yeah,
encourage you
yeah,
to do that this year in Indy.
yeah. You get what you put into it.
That's right.
If you put in the work, put in the effort, put in the time, you're going to get something out of it.
That's
And
it's coming back to you.
if you don't show up, you don't do that, you don't get it.
100.
Go back to your basketball days, D1 superstar.
Yeah, I don't know about superstar, but was honored to play the game at a variety of levels in college and professionally a little bit there, and yeah, still love the game. Hey, you know what? I'm a Las Vegas Aces fan, but I'll cheer for Caitlin Clark when I'm in Indy. Okay, come
There
on.
you go. There you go.
Yeah, just excited about
There you
all of
go.
that's happening, and I think it's the right place to be. I think we can jump into the summertime with some good business. Let's get some good work done while we're there. We
Yeah.
recognize that's why we're there. But I think the worship team is going to come with some great singable, Christ-centered music during the annual meeting as well. I know we've had some great conversations about just those specific worship pockets, as well as some of those intentional prayer moments. Those aren't just transition
Mhm.
moments. Those aren't just fillers. We're really praying intentional, specific prayers, and that is going to be represented in those who are picked for those moments. And also, there's going to be some really neat video media during those couple days. I think with me in this space, we wanted it to be life giving. We don't want the
Yeah.
business meeting to be life taking. I think sometimes people communicate about this and they roll their eyes and say, "Oh yeah." We don't want to be apologetic about what we're doing for those times. We want to look forward to it. It's life giving. It's going to be good.
All right, man. I can't wait for it. And you mentioned a lot of the things we've talked about here on the road to Indy. We had Joe Kreider on talking about worship, and
Yeah.
we talked about prayer and everything. So there's a lot here. You can go watch the episode with Bart. There's a lot in the archives of the road to Indy that you can check out if you're catching this interview and want more information about those things, including the schedule. We have it on
Yep.
the app. And we did a whole episode on about the schedule, kind of walk through all those big pieces that Heiden's talking about today. So Heiden, I appreciate you joining us. Thanks for your dedication to serving Southern Baptist, and
Honored.
And we can't wait to see you in Indy, man.
Yeah, and I just want to say one more thing. It has been an honor to serve with Pastor Bart Barber. What a great leader.
Yeah.
What a great, he's a pastor's pastor. I haven't bought any cowboy boots yet, but I've learned a lot from him. And he led us into a little bit of his theme for this sermon for the annual meeting, and his passion for unity, his passion for the gospel, and his passion for disciple making through the local church, I think, was on display. I'm excited to lean into this message, and just want to send a quick honor word to Pastor Bart and the crew there. Let's go.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Heiden, thanks for joining us today. And thank you for joining at home. And we want to remind you that are watching at home that your road to Indy and your road back home should include a quick side trip to Southern Seminary and Boyce College. You can go to sbts.edu/road trip to see what Southern has planned for SBC 24 road trippers just like you. Again, hope to see you in Indianapolis in June. Join us again next week, right here on the Road to Indy, presented by Southern Seminary and Boyce College.